3, 2. Tommy Armour III. All right, welcome everybody to That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf, episode 57. Chris?
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin.
I don't either, man. This may be, if this were the last
Don't
TRL, I'd be okay with it.
Give too much away because remember,
know.
this is the opening of the show.
Right. Right.
I'm wearing a flat bill today. I don't wear flat bills pretty much ever. I always order them thinking I'm going to pull them off, and I don't. So don't wear them. But today, we have
now, you're pulling off that sweatshirt, my friend.
Oh my God, how good. Oh, by the way, available at the Second City Golf Shop in the Dry Range Heroes section, this sick tie-dye Dry Range Heroes hoodie. I am going to tell you, it looks good. It's also available in black. I can't remember if there's a third color. I think there's a navy. There is a navy blue, right?
Yep.
Or bluish navy blue.
Yeah.
It's a champion hoodie. It is legit. It's so good. The quality is amazing. Super warm, heavyweight. This is it. I thought I'd wear, okay, it's a tie-dye hoodie. I'll wear it every now and then. This thing, since it came in, staple. Like, I love this thing.
It's a good one.
Love it. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry. Anyway,
there's also,
go on about your flat bill.
There's also that Range Life versions of this hoodie available.
It's true.
That Range Life logo. We're in a flat bill today because we have a very important and exciting guest on today. I'm talking about none other than Tommy Armour III. You may know him as, you know what? I'm not even going to intro him too much. We get into it in the video where we chat with him. But real quick, before we kick into that, make sure you subscribe to this here YouTube channel, because I'm going to tell you this. After this interview, though, I feel like you guys, God knows what's coming next, because this one nailed it. And I feel like it's a next step kind of moment. You don't want to miss anything. All right. Subscribe to the channel. If you don't like this video, I don't know what you've been watching for the last 57 of them, one way or another. If anything, just because you're happy for us. Like the video. Hit the bell, too. Don't forget that part. That's an easy one to forget here on YouTube. If you forget that bell, you might miss. I've missed out on some great videos from some great channels because I didn't hit the bell. Hit the bell.
In fact, it could cost you free stuff if you don't hit the bell.
We talked about,
put that out there right now.
We talked about giving stuff away in the recent past. Be like, yeah, we can make it happen. And we reached out to some people thinking we need to do some work for it. My God, the stockpile of things we've recently generated for giveaways, and like good things. I'm just gonna say that. Not like I know we keep saying like, oh, t-shirt and hat. Yeah, it's kind of exciting, but like, no, better than that Range Life or Dry Range Heroes or Origin Stories merch.
Yeah.
Like expensive, nice things. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit the bell.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Hit the bell, man. Okay.
All right. I don't really want to say anything else. This is to date, haven't missed a week, 57th episode. The most excited, nervous, happy I've been about That Range Life to date. Let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally come. You're sick of Chris and myself, and I understand that. But so we got a good guest today, Mr. Tommy Armour III. I don't know what to say. I don't even know where to start. I'd like to say I'm not the least bit nervous, but I am. Came on tour in 1981. Won the 1990 Phoenix Open, the 2003 Valero Texas Open. But wait, just wait. In 2003, this gentleman set the new record for a 70-day, there's a 72-hole. There you go. I'm already doing it. 72-hole scoring record, I believe, of 254. Yeah,
that was correct.
Which held until 2017. When Justin Thomas beat it. Did he beat it? How many strokes did he beat it by, TA?
One. Birdie the last hole to beat me. I text him. I said, I can't really say what I text him, but then I sent it, and then I 5 minutes later, I sent congratulations.
5 minutes is too quick. But anyway, Tommy Armour the third.
Because it was one of the it's one of the only records I could really have. I mean, I'm not gonna, pretty much any other record would be with my career unattainable except that.
Do you know what? So, doing the research, whatever, because I'll be honest with you, and we talked a little before we started recording, I'm a club junkie. I love the vintage stuff. So I could talk about probably the stuff you grew up with in your background like that all day long, the Sub 70 project. But doing the career research here, I'm going to think about this for a second. You did it in 2003. There was another young gun golfer about that time doing pretty well for himself. That was, think about this. Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Arnold, all these great names. Your grandfather, I don't know, he was pretty good way back when. That's and that is a ridiculous record to hold. I mean,
that's
all the names.
That's what I was saying. That's what I meant by it's one of the, one of the few records that I could have had that would have been, substantial. And but I'm still second. That's the second best.
Well, I think the fact that you held it for 14 years still,
right,
and other literal giants in the game didn't. It's more. That's more than literally anybody else but one person can say. Right. So, very impressive. Anyway,
one of my favorite things from that is Byron Nelson sent me a handwritten note after that week, and he said, "Congratulations! I never could imagine shooting a score of 254 for 72 holes."
What? I'm going to ask you some just dumb cliche questions. I'm sure you've been asked about that point, and maybe, hopefully, you're not sick of talking about it. But as a mortal amateur golfer myself, all 4 days, like something. That's not like, oh, you shot 70 one day kind of thing. You had to shoot lights out 4 days in a row. What goes through your head? What kind of headspace are you in? What are you doing every day after your rounds? How does that feel? And what do you do?
It was just a really unusual week. Just everything I did was good. I didn't make a 5 on my card till the fourth round of the tournament.
But like, did you feel different in your head, physically, anything, or was it just you're like, oh, they're going in?
It was just kind of I hit it really good. I hit like 69 greens out of 72 in regulation, or 68, something like that. I just hit a lot of shots really close to the hole, and I made a lot of long putts.
I couldn't hit
that's
that
all?
many.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it.
But but that's really it was. I hit a lot of. This day, when you break down golf and you want to say shoot 65, you have to do it regularly. You have to have close putts, because the stats tell you the further you get away from the hole, the fewer putts you make.
Sure.
So I hit a lot of irons, wedges, and literally when I say 2 feet, 1 foot, 3 feet, I did it a lot, and I hit some of the par 5s and 2 putted. I just, like the 71st hole of the tournament, I hit it, foot. Well, on a par 3, and so and actually I bogeyed the last hole of the tournament for that score.
Was that nerves at that point, or is it just so
no?
Happened to be that way?
I had a 7-shot lead, and I really didn't even realize that was the record, because I don't really read too much media and stuff when I'm playing in tournaments. And I pulled my tee shot a little bit and bounced, and I had like 1 foot in a fairway bunker and 1 foot out, and I just punched it short of the green. And it wasn't like I was just, trying to get the tournament over with at that point.
As I say, at that point, it's probably, rather take the points in the paycheck.
Right. I just pitched it up there about 8 feet and kind of lifted out a little bit and tapped it in, and let's get out of here.
I wouldn't be the gear nerd I am if I didn't ask, what equipment were you playing for that round, for that tournament?
I was playing Titleist equipment.
Okay.
The Titleist blade, the 670s.
Yeah.
And I had Ping I2 wedges, the lob wedge and the S.
Right.
And I had a Titleist driver and a Titleist 3-wood. Actually, I had all Titleist clubs except
Those
for wedges.
were like the glory years, Titleist stuff
And I had
too.
a TP,
Yeah.
yeah, and I had a TP Mills putter.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That TP Mills made for me.
Oh,
It was
God.
funny. He made for me, and they sent it to me, and I was using it for like a week, and I was putting with this putting arc, the old putting arc, and I started putting. And the week before, I played in, I believe it was Nemacolin, and I played really well. But I didn't make any putts, and I was like, yeah, it's coming, or I think something's coming. And I kept putting on the putting arc, and then the next week, literally, I just, it was magic.
So, Chris, just for your own education, because TP Mills is a big name we haven't really gotten into on this show, but that's in the Tad Moore,
Yeah.
birth
So,
of modern putter maker conversation. Like, what a
Mm.
legend!
yeah,
What a
coincidentally
legend!
enough, that's one of the few names I know.
TP Mills was way before Tad Moore.
But Tad Moore, like, I want to say, I don't want to say he was like an apprentice of him, but he definitely gleaned a lot of knowledge and
Oh,
information.
Tad from yes, yes, I see what you. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, before
Yeah.
it became a Scotty Cameron, Bettinardi world, so to speak. The OGs of the modern boutique putter game. The only thing I think greater than the 254 story in terms of like your brain just has to be in another planet. And I know one of your peers was when Rocco Mediate was at, I think it was an 18th hole. I don't remember, but 4 rounds in a row, hold out. I think it was on like 18 at the Shriners or something like that, and won the tournament. All 4 days, same hole, hold out from the fairway. It was like this
I've
at
never
this
heard
point.
that story.
Oh, it's I gotta look. I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube just because I've been talking about it
Yeah,
now for 2 days.
I'm gonna fact check you on that.
All right, I was to say, don't worry, I will send you the link. But
Okay.
at this point, it's a weird, like, supernatural golf world I couldn't even dream of. I can't imagine mentally what it's like.
Bizarre. That's crazy.
It
That's
it
crazy.
is.
But imagine shooting like 64, 65, 4 days in a row and winning a PGA tournament. That's
I can't even fathom any of that.
All right, so here you've talked about the past enough. You've told these stories before. You want to talk about something different. As big sub 70 guys ourselves, obviously you have the sub 70 hat on. I've been dying all year to hear what you have to say and talk to you about the new Tommy Armour III TA3 irons. There they are.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Hey, listen, don't big shot me too much. I have some things to say about these irons. Good things, though. You come from a background, like, let's be honest, your namesake.
I've always been a club guy. I've always loved playing with clubs, tinkering with clubs.
I mean,
working on clubs. When I was 10 years old in our garage growing up, I had a little club area where I changed grips and used to whip wood.
Yep.
Really?
Heads and,
yeah.
Did the whipping on them.
It's literally in your blood. Arguably one of the greatest designers and builders of golf clubs ever is your grandpa.
Right.
So, like, if you told me you weren't doing that as a kid, I think I would have been upset.
Exactly. But I've always enjoyed fiddling with clubs, playing with clubs, and I guess it is my part of my job. But just as a hobby, I love tinkering with clubs.
Yep. Chris, that I can relate to. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Jason's told the story a bunch of times about how I guess you guys, fell into each other, but if you could briefly explain from your side, how you got to know Jason and Sub 70 and really how this project to create the Tommy Armour III signature iron came about.
It actually started with my brother. My brother did a couple of podcasts with him, and he said, you should call this Jason. He's a really nice guy, and he owns this company, Sub 70. And then my brother had some irons sent, and then I looked at him. I said, yeah, these clubs are nice. And then I call and talk to him, and pretty much, the millennial word kind of lately, it's happened organically.
That is true. That is very, very millennial. Not
But
that I would
it
know.
did, right? But he would just kind of talk about it, and then he said, "Well, let's do it." And I said, "Okay, it sounds fun." I mean, I'm, you know, I'm kind of getting towards the end of my playing career, so you know, I said, "Yeah, that'll be something I'd like to do."
Now, have you ever, I kind of have two questions related to this, but in your career, have you ever had anything where you were working so closely with the manufacturer, whoever it was at whatever time, to create an iron that would be distributed based on your specs, your design, your eyes, etc.?
No, I mean, I've built a lot of sets and ground a lot of sets for my own personal use, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing that was going to be like this, where it's going to be hustled as with my name.
So I guess, like you said, would you do all of your grinding and all of your, the golf nerd spec kind of stuff that we all get worked up about? Would you do it all on your own? Would you have
I have a
insert brand
couple of
here? Time?
guys. I have a couple of guys that do it, that I watch do it and let them do it, and I've kind of taught them over time how I like it done, so I trust them, and they're really. I've got a guy, Frank Hardwick in Dallas,
I was
and
gonna say, I know you have a club guy in Texas, and I was gonna ask
mhm,
you, tell us a little bit about him.
it's Selinger Power Golf, and he's done a lot of my club work. And Joey Fideo, who has Aloha Golf here in Las Vegas. Those are pretty much the two guys, and Scotty Garrison's been on the PGA Tour, where he's had his truck, and he's done a lot of work for me. But I always like to go in there and kind of supervise it and look over their shoulder a little bit, and kind of tell them and check it.
So
So
what?
I enjoy it.
I mean, that's awesome to hear. I think
Hmm.
like every now and then in the day of social media and Golf Channel just looking for something to talk about, you always hear about, oh, this guy comes in and messes with his own grips and does this club work, but it always
Hmm.
seems a little like, I always think of like AJ Foyt getting out of his car in, indie races and hitting it with a wrench and, he's like, leave it. I know my car better than anyone. I'll do it myself. And I don't
Right.
think I think finding the guy, the old school, the old time golf guys who actually
Hmm.
have that eye and sense to do it themselves is always interesting and always a lot of fun to hear about.
Yeah, I wonder actually, just hearing you talk about that, TAs, is, today everyone, relies on TrackMan and to tell them what they should be playing. I wonder if that's sort of a dying art of really being that involved
Well,
in what you're playing.
well, I mean, science is science, and I mean, I think TrackMans can certainly help you a lot. I mean, I can kind of hit an iron and for one time, a couple of times, and tell you if I'm going to like it or not. And a lot goes just looking at it. And I mean, I'm 40. I'm 40 years into this pro golf stuff, and so I mean, I've learned a lot over the 40 years, and yes, there's a lot of good in TrackMan, and it tells you a lot and stuff, but still, at the end of the day, you got to figure out how to play golf. And if your equipment, um, I think if your equipment fits you, and I think golf's a lot easier to play.
I'm looking in the background here and I'm thinking as you're talking about, you still have to play the clubs, etc. I'm like, those are some pretty high ceilings. And I see some bags in the background. I think a few clubs. I bet there's a lot of golf swings being made all over this house.
Mhm. Well, upstairs there's like a whole golf studio thing where I
Oh,
keep all my golf stuff.
That'll be
I'm
what
just sitting down here in the kitchen, kind of. Actually, my dog's over there running around.
we
I was
saw him. I
surprised.
saw him back
I'm
there.
surprised Chris hasn't been like, hang on, everyone shut up. We got to talk about the dogs. Let's go.
They're Chinese cressets. They're hairless dogs, and they got like hairy heads and stuff. And they're kind of they're new players in the game for me. I've always had cats my whole life, but about a month and a half ago, I got these two new dogs, and blackjack and roulette.
Very,
I love
very
He's
nice.
picking up the weird hairless dog, the weird looking ones. He's like, come on,
I
man,
had
we got the
hairless
bigs.
cats. I had hairless cats. One was Mr. Bigglesworth and one was Harry.
I mean, you have to name one of them Mr.
I
Bigglesworth.
would say that's
yeah.
that's a great. That's a great
And I
name.
had a fluffy big one who was like Mr. Bigglesworth as well. They were both named Mr. Bigglesworth.
Which
Literally,
one?
Austin Powers, a movie, is why I got them.
That's
I can see
amazing.
that. It's like, hang
That's
on,
amazing.
I can do a 2-cat thing here. I'm getting one of each now. I got it.
And Mr. A and Mr. B, Mr. Before and Mr. After. So we called it Mr. A and Mr. B.
I don't know why I think that's so funny. Like,
That's
get to know
amazing.
Tommy Armour
That's
the Third. So let's dive into, and I'd be remiss if I didn't, talking about some of, so let's start with, Chris, I don't know if I'm stepping on your toes here, but Grandpa was a legend in the game, right? Won tons of tournaments, major championships, was a pro at Medina back in the day, I believe, right?
Medina, Wingfoot.
Well, but Medina is the hometown, I would say hometown course. Like, I play it a lot, but it's
Right.
It's like it's like
Yeah,
Chicago
Yeah.
and Medina are
Gotcha.
yeah.
so
Yeah,
that always stood out of mind. Like, the Silver Scott, how about it? Your dad was a surgeon, right?
He was a doctor here in Las Vegas. He moved here in '63, and he was here till he passed.
Okay, so how, I mean, I'm assuming your dad must have recreationally played somewhat, or how does it?
Yeah.
How
Oh
does
no,
it
he was
skip
a
the
good. He was a good player. He was a club championship at the Desert Inn and 3 times, and lost in the finals 4 times. So I mean, he was a crafty little player.
Do you think if he decided he's like, I want to do what my dad did, you would have been 3rd generation professional great, or do you think your dad had the chops you had?
You know, he was a good player. I don't know. I never really. I always looked at my dad as a doctor, you know, because he always was. So I never really. But we went out. I mean, when we were younger, he could battle and stuff. He was like a 3, 4, 5 handicap.
Okay.
But he was never. Yeah, he said he never wanted to play pro golf. He went to Columbia, and then he went to George Washington Medical School, and he was off and running in medicine. And
It sounds like he was just too smart for golf.
well, you know,
Really?
you either have to be too smart or too dumb for golf.
Right.
I feel like I'm missing the opportunity, or maybe this is like me not being good in this kind of capacity. Which one would you classify yourself as? I feel like you have to ask it if someone says that.
I'm kind of caught in the middle.
Okay. I would say, obviously not to your skill level, whatever, but Chris, I think that captures us fair. No, we're definitely too dumb. I started to think maybe we were, but no.
I would like to think I'm too smart, but I'm not too smart.
Right. Absolutely.
I guarantee it. So let's go back real quick to the new irons, which I actually saw pictures of your iron, your personal version of those. Bill, have you seen those? I don't know if you've seen them. They're a square.
Why do you ask me dumb things?
I feel like, I don't know if Bill may not know this reference. T, I think you'll get it. But the Jack Dempsey boot, you know, the old kicker, that's what the toe looks like on your.
Well,
irons.
It's more of a blunted toe. It's more of a Hogan Apex toe, and that would be more, because I played Hogan Apexes for a long time, and that would be more of, I think, really where I liked that from.
Do you recall when he was sending you pictures going, what toe do you like here? You picked 2. One was a National Custom Work, which they're making very good, but right, all the new they're like new modern forgings of classic McGregor's, Hogan's, and Wilson's, right? So I wasn't surprised for that. But the other one you picked, because I said, I'm like, it sounds like you're describing a vintage Hogan. He goes, yeah, for sure. But the other one you picked was a Wilson Dynapower from 1964.
Yeah. Same thing, kind of a blunt toe.
Yeah. And I said, man, squared. And Chris, I don't know when you saw those pictures, but the ones I saw recently, I was like, my God, this is minus the like sub 70 aesthetic on the back of it. I go, this is a club from the 1960s. It's
for sure.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do with a golf club. I mean, they pretty much have done the whole spectrum of cavity backs. I mean, and perimeter weighted, and I mean, like, what clubs did Corey Pavin win the U.S. Open with? Some what were those clubs?
I just read something about this recently too. They weren't Rams.
No, they were like shank proof kind of thing.
Yeah, like super offset.
Yeah, they
Really?
had, yeah. I'm trying to remember. I'll remember it here in a second.
I was gonna say we can exchange it with when I'll send you the Rocco Media link.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I point that out because the TA3 irons that you'll be using, the sub 70 irons, and the ones that will be released to the wild, to the public, are different. So how do you balance that when you're designing a club? I mean, maybe this is your first time really being that in depth. So was there how did you sort of feel your way through that space?
I just, I mean, Jason did a lot of the back, and I kind of added to it. But I mean, he had a good visual to work with from the get go. So he made it really easy. I mean, because the minute he saw something, he gave when I saw the original that he gave me, I said, I love that. I think that's a good start. And we just changed a couple of things around, and it really went very painless, I would have to say.
When you threw in opinions as the development was happening, and I know, I should say I was fortunate enough to be able to, I don't know, participates, right, but have insight too, as like he was working on your personal set, but
Mhm.
with the retail set, I'm curious, how much, as you would look at that, would you be making changes for yourself, or would you be thinking like, okay, I might want this, but I think the average person is going to need X, Y, and Z in these clubs to be successful with them? Like, how much of that balance did you have where
I
you?
mean, there it is right there. And I
Yep.
mean, if I mean, it's pretty simple. There's some weight down here to help it get it up in the air and stuff. But it's clean, it's simple, it's sexy. I mean, I don't really. You don't have to do a lot to this club. I
Right.
mean, and I had them out in the at the course at the Summit Club the other day, and there was a PXG demo day on the other side. And I had mines, and some people hit mine. They go, I like this better than that. And I go, well, I mean, PXG I think is a very sexy brand. I like PXG, and I think it's filled in a nice spot for just high end luxury clubs. But my whole set is less than a pair of wedges.
I was gonna say like less than a
Right.
8-iron.
Than
Yeah.
the two wedges.
It really is,
So,
actually.
yeah,
And now that I think
it
about
is.
what those wedges cost, yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
kind of pointing to, was that part of the attraction to sub 70, that they were providing like that level of club to the general public for that price? I mean, that's
That was kind of after the fact with me. I
okay.
didn't really know that was how he did it and everything. I just liked him, and as we got into it more, he said, "Well, these are going to go for this," and I go, "Okay." I go, that's people definitely can afford that, because I think golf and over this pandemic, the last, I would say pretty much the last year, now that we're in February, I mean, golf's had a, a surprisingly strong resurgence in
Yeah.
just people doing it.
Yep.
Is it
And
weird for you at all to look at these now? And I know they only say TA3, but like there's a Tommy Armour III signature, your name's on it club. And I mean, with all the people between, like we were saying before the show, right? There's been the Tommy Armour brand, Tommy Armour McGregor models, Tommy Armour clubs for so long. Or is it sort of like it's just been so long and you're so used to it, it doesn't register as a thing? Or is it like kind of crazy to be like, wow, I'm part of that? Tommy Armour's name is on this legacy now officially.
well, I mean, I think that name's always been synonymous with golf clubs through, certainly through my career, and certainly through, I mean, so it's just I think it's only right.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, really though, there's an entire generation that doesn't have that connection, right? Like it probably ends. I mean, Bill is kind of, you know, Bill's a special person, but like it probably
Good
ends
ways and bad ways. Yeah.
it probably ends at my generation. And now you're the new, like people don't know your heritage or your lineage, and you're introducing this to a whole new generation of golfers. I mean, that's amazing.
I mean,
That's
Dick's
pretty great.
Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods has the, my grandfather's name, and they're making the club still. So I mean, the club is still, the name is still out there, and Dick's is doing a very good job with the line for Golf Galaxy and Dick's, and I go in there and look at the clubs and stuff, and I think they're doing a good job with it.
Wouldn't it be nice? Hey, is there anything you can do if Dick's has the rights to the name to be like, hey, can you guys do like a limited edition persimmon LFF for us?
Maybe we'll do that with a metalwood here with sub 70.
That's a great segue. So these clubs are great. Not to brag here, Chris, but I hit one of the prototypes in the like middle of the summer. It's like, Jesus, these things are awesome. And not just because I love Jason and I love sub 70, not because I'm talking to you. Like, it was a great golf club. And
by the way, you're right. I mean, because when I got my first set of them, I was like, okay, let's see what this is like. And the first 5 balls I hit with, I go, these things feel really good. And everybody that I've hit that's hit them, well, I love them. And I mean, and I said, no, seriously. And I got to tell you, but we're using a new metal on these, and or a different combination of metal. So
Okay.
Jason tells me. And
so he says good enough.
And they do feel good, and everybody that's hit them loves them. So that's what I'm going with.
Keep that in mind, Chris. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's sneak peek. That will be my 2021 gamer. It's so good. But anyway, I mean, based on what I hear out of Jason, I feel like things have been going well in this relationship. What's next? Is there anything after the TA3 iron with sub 70 in the works for sure? Anything?
We got some wedges coming.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
what can you, what kind of look? What can you tell us?
They're going to be black, and they're going to be, I can, hang on a second. I can.
By the way, I love this, like the mobile TA3
this
on
is
this.
amazing.
Like, it's such a nice break from how we usually do this, and him being like, hey, I got stuff I can show.
How do you do it?
Most people sitting at desks like stooges like us.
Right. But we get like a nice tour of TA3. Oh,
that's the wedge, huh? Very nice. I wonder if Jason's like, God damn it, guys.
That's the first one. That's the first prototype. And
man, here I was like all excited. I just got the new sub 70 JB forged wedges and raw finish, and I'm so excited for him. Another one I hit earlier this year or middle last year. It's Groundhog's Day, okay? But I was like, oh, it's so good. I haven't even hit a ball with him yet, and I saw those ones. I'm like, well, I need those ASAP. Right. Let's go. Hurry up,
now
Jason.
you have to start chasing those.
Yeah, and like that's what Jason needs. A great Bill's got another club.
Oh, is this the studio? Are we gonna get a tour?
How did this happen where we coerced Tommy Armour III, TA3, to give us a tour of his house in Vegas?
I don't know, but I'm so
this is kind of grandfather's section of pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lee Trevino sent this to me from Hartford. It was at Hartford Country Club, hung in a pro shop. They redid the pro shop. He sent it to me. That's his Hall of Fame plaque. There's just a few little things. That's my dad's club championship up there.
Come on.
This is my grandfather and McDonald Smith going over in the boat over to Scotland to play in the British Open. They finished 1-2.
I'm like, this is my wife and kids.
Right. I know. Day. I hate everything in my
when I was in England.
This is trash.
This is kind of there's my hounds.
There they are.
Aroma. But this guy kind of through the pandemic, we kind of, because golf closed down for a minute, and we
Yeah.
of used this for a second, but then it came back up, and here's, I mean, just a bunch of golf stuff.
You see that Odyssey? I forgot what it said. It's like putter die bag, man. I wanted one of those things so bad when they came out. Those things are
The which one? Oh,
the Odyssey one.
Innovator
The
Die.
Yep.
yeah, that
Yep.
one. Those were so good.
Mhm,
Yep.
right? They were good.
So I have to ask, given I referenced the LFF earlier, but do you have a stockpile of all those? Even if a
Not
little one.
not a stockpile, but I do have a few.
Man,
Look at this, man. We're on cue.
so good.
Ah,
So and I'm
this
so
is
like
This club was given to me by Ben Hogan.
it's like never mind the heritage that he's directly a part of, but I go, oh, having an LFF that is from
There's
Hogan.
a Ben Hogan. There's a Ben Hogan Tommy Armour. This is this is a driver I used to win the Phoenix Open.
You're a little off camera. You're a little off camera on that.
Hold on, yeah. There it is.
Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like he's got it in a bag. Like hang that thing, man. That's like,
It's good
send
right
it to
there.
me. I'll get it framed and ship it back out.
honestly,
Oh my God.
Just
I wonder how
some
many people too will watch this and be like, all right, you two
There's some
dorks.
old Tommy Armour putters. This set right here. This guy came up to me. I don't know. Can you see that?
there you go.
Yeah. Who?
Oh yeah.
He came to me at the senior PGA at in Rochester at Oak Hill.
It's like, to me, there's so much content to get to, we could get to, but seeing an actual professional give you the like walkthrough of his club collection and
For real.
like, sorry, we're gear nerds first.
Yeah.
This
Whereas-
was a copy that I made. It was a kind of a commemorative set. Made 254 of these with TP Mills. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that, I've seen
That
that
is
one.
awesome.
Highland has that on his wall. He got
Mhm.
one of them. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So good. So
Mhm.
you're a club junkie through and
Here's
through.
there's no, that's not it. Oh yeah, I love club.
What's your vice? Are you like I mean, other than all of them, all clubs, are you like a cool putter catches your eye
Oh.
kind of guy? What's
Here it is. Here it is. This is a 254 putter right here.
that's
Hold on. It's not in the shot
we
yet.
gotta get
There it is. Oh,
so this is the one.
No, that's the one that he made for me.
God, man.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
It's a nice putter.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what to say at this
Yeah.
point. Like I almost remember
this was better than I could have, like no sort of even, I couldn't even have thought this would be this cool.
And this is just some stuff from, kind of Harold Riley's a famous artist and stuff. He did that thing. And
Look
that's
at the,
something
look at
that
the golf balls in the shape of Texas too. That's
they did that for me, and there's 254 golf balls in there.
man.
it's almost like, hey, let's do this again down the
Here,
road. I want somebody to hold a
these I made 254 of these and gave them to my closest friends and stuff. It was a ticket from the Valero Open. It was a picture on the third round on the last hole, and this is a copy of the scorecard.
Oh,
And
man.
then this one I signed Steve, one of my greatest moments. Thanks. I actually gave this one and I was holding it for Steve Duplantis, who caddied for me, who got killed.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I have left of that, is the one that he
Wow.
didn't get.
So like, do you still go? I mean, just for fun, go out in the garage and throw some grips on, pull heads off, just mess around and build things?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. I go to the golf shop 3 or 4 times a week.
And they go, oh, TA3's here.
This is some more stuff down the hall. This was an article Jim Murray wrote about me
Holy cow,
Um,
man.
in the LA Open. And Jim Murray was, if you know who Jim Murray was, he was one of the great sports writers of all time.
An all-time
This
great
is a
sports writer, yeah.
This was something the Texas Open sent to me. It was my grandfather. He played the Texas Open 23, 27, and 20, and then that was me winning it. So it's cool.
This reminds me. Do you remember?
Thank you so much, TA. This is so great. This is so great.
Do you remember when Golf Channel did that thing where they had they like came in and toured Bernard Longer's house? And I'm like, oh, that was super cool. I wish I did more stuff like this. And then this happened.
I know. It's like we fall into it, man. It's just.
Well, yeah, I can't. Thank you. Like, I don't know how interesting of a YouTube video it's going to be, but like, this is awesome. This is more than this is my favorite show we've ever recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for this.
That's on the dining room table.
Was that your head cover when you won the Texas Open?
No, it was just a big dragon. I saw it in a thrift store about 10 years ago and bought it.
He comes walking out of the pro whatever golf store he goes to with like 2 boxes of Golf Pride Tour velvets. He's like, "What's that in that thrift store?" All right, I'm going in.
Yeah, dragon. It was an antique store, actually. It wasn't a thrift store. They had that dragon's head in there. I said, I gotta have that.
It had shades of the HBO show. It looked like one of the dragons that what's her name?
Game of Thrones. You need help on this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I never watched a series of Game of Thrones till after it was all over, and I watched it.
And he's owned the dragon head for 8 years. He's like, okay, I'll watch Game of Thrones.
I watched it start to finish in about 3 weeks from the all 8 seasons.
What'd you think?
It was good.
All right, good. I would have been so upset.
A little overrated, but good.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Probably, especially coming in when you came in, which was after the fact, after all the hype and everything else. I could see that.
Well, in the last 3 seasons being garbage.
I'm glad I didn't take 8 years to watch that, or whatever, 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I felt so like everyone was getting so mad at that finale. No spoilers, but
how could it couldn't have ended any other way?
I totally agree.
I agree.
Totally.
But I can also say I did a similar thing. We binged it and really only spent like 2 more years to finish it or whatever, some small number. But I go, you know what? If you did this show for 10 years, I could see that being a huge letdown. Waiting 16 months between. Yeah. 16 months between seasons and then you get that. I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, look, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I could do this for 3 hours and but maybe we'll do it again sometime.
I'll come back and do it. Absolutely, whenever you guys want.
Yeah, I want to get. I kind of want to get.
I don't do stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. I kind of want to get my hands on the TA3 irons here in the very near future. Sub 70. I think it's like sub 70 golf.
Well, why don't you call me after you? Why don't we do this after you get them, and you can tell me what you think about them.
Chris, I'll try to get you some too. All right.
Look,
no, for sure.
I'll just sit and listen. This is fun for me. I don't care.
Yeah, realistically, I can't wait to hit him, and it's going to be like a group text. Oh God, I didn't realize I could do this now until this moment. I can group text big time golf guy here, Jason Highland of Sub 70 Golf and Tommy Armour III, and go, guys, I hit the irons, or guys, I just finished building them. Check them out. Like, what a world.
Well, why don't we do that when you get to your irons and stuff and do it? We'll do this again.
Perfect. And then I'll bet, can you text me back a picture of the LFFs again? Thanks. He's like, shut up. All right, go away.
They're coming. My number. The LFF driver maybe will be coming from Subset.
Oh my God. I don't even care if it's any good. I gamed. It's in the bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I can't wait to nag Jason about that immediately following this. TA, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Enjoy the new I don't think you have him yet, but when you get the final new set, I want to know what you think.
We'll talk about those and your set when the next time we talk.
Beautiful. All right, TA.
Cool. All right,
thanks,
fellas.
Man.
Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
All right. I don't know about you, dude. I'm not telling you there isn't some production bells and whistles that weren't great in this, but
man, that was
the emotional come down from that show or from that interview. If you want to, that discussion, that chat.
It was so amazing. It was so amazing. That dude, first of all, Thank you, TA3, so much. That was awesome. You are awesome. Yeah, I just, it just left me speechless, man.
I
Just
want.
left me
I
speechless. It was
don't.
so much fun. So great.
I think we'll both admit there was a little nerve. There were a little nerves going into it from
100%
a.
for sure.
This guy is a 40-year professional golfer, like with a legacy name,
Right.
but enough of his own accomplishments that he's a big deal.
Right.
Um, there that's nervy enough on its own. And I think especially me being the fanboy that I tend to be about weird things like his grandpa and his golf clubs, but even the sub 70 stuff about it and really just like his putter collection, all of it.
Man.
You know, it was so good. It was such a relief, but I don't feel like many of these it wasn't a starstruck nerve.
No, 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 no. It's like I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to get in the way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was much more like I felt like on us. Like he is who he is.
He deserves the best of the best, not us.
Right.
And I think
right.
we're okay, but
Right.
he
That's a great way to put it.
deserves better than us.
Right.
And especially like thank you. We should say thank you to Jason Hyland for helping us
Yes.
out and putting us in touch with
sure.
him.
Sure.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to say it's quite like it's almost like I don't want to let my big brother down, who's finally like letting me
Yep.
letting me skate with the older kids and
Right.
play hockey on the pond with him. Like that's what it felt like, and I didn't want to let him down. Frankly, I don't know if we did or we didn't, but it very much turned into, I think we started out okay. Like that thing, that there's so much. I hope people pick out the same things that like got us excited during it. And I think kind of came like for us. I hope people find
It's
the
right.
TP Mills putter is exciting. The one thing when we stepped away from the interview real quick or the discussion, I gotta stop calling it. It didn't feel like one. He had whether I'm not clear if it was his grandpa's club or just a Tommy Armour McGregor club that Ben Hogan gave him.
Right.
Ben Hogan went, "Hey,
Right.
TA3,
Here.
your legacy, here you go," or
Right.
open this box,
Right. Right.
like that stuff
I
is
don't
killer.
I really love that he just took the show over. He's like, this is my show now. And I'm going to show you I'm going to show you this museum that I live in, that you're going to love.
And what's crazy to me is it's not a museum.
No,
Like,
not at all.
It's
just
this.
it's how he decorates his house.
It's his version of
nothing.
this,
Right.
Like that's normal him. It's just his things
Right.
he likes and he wants around.
Right. I know. And I'm like, hey, check out these 2 guitars I have on the wall. And he's like, oh yeah, here's this picture of Ben Hogan. That's like, here's the scorecard from when I broke the record. Like, oh man.
Yeah, it's but what a cool guy.
Yeah,
what
for
a
sure.
what a
Well, for sure.
At least for me and you, what a great time. I
Yeah.
look forward to talking to him again, in the near future here. I'm trying to think of like a regular segment for him, Tommy's Corner or something. You know what I mean? The guy's just gold. He's the best. And it's funny. I'm sitting here thinking like how often Jason Hyland would be like, "Trust me, this guy's the best. Don't worry about it. He's gonna be. He's easy. He's cool.
Yeah.
You guys will love him." Like I should have just put all my faith and trust in that. And I think I got like exactly what Jason said we would out of him. He's the best.
Yep.
They're both the best.
He's just a genuine human being. And yeah.
I feel like we're rambling on so bad. And like you said, we came out of like, I'm coming off of a high. And I think if it was super chatty interview, like, tell me about that soul grind you have, blah, blah, blah. If it, stayed on that way, it wouldn't be like this. But just that view,
I feel like he let us in, man. He let us in. He talked about his dogs. It's like he let us into his world. And I'm so happy that he did.
To get a normal person view of someone like that, it's just the best.
Yeah.
The guy's the great.
Yeah.
He's the greatest. He's a legend.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else to say about it.
Subscribe to the show for more weird surprises like this, I guess. Hit the bell.
Right. check out if you haven't already. Actually, I have. If you want a little sneak peek and what to expect from the Tommy Armour III irons by Sub 70, go to driverangeheroes.com. Just search Sub 70. It'll come up. If you don't even need to see it, go to Sub 70's website. They have them for sale now, and they're gonna be coming soon. I know that much. I know they're coming soon. A couple other things before we get out of here, I guess.
Okay.
Golf Origin Stories still going strong. Yeah,
It's true.
we got any
It's true.
good guests on?
We have my favorite golf glove manufacturer.
Oh yeah.
Asher Golf. We have VR3, or I'm sorry, MV3. VR3.
Nailed it.
Yeah, MV3. Michael Verska III, who is the marketing manager for the company, who was just interning at the company not 2 or 3 years ago. It's crazy. And so we have him on the show, and I asked him about the new glove caddy and all of the sort of chaos that came out of that drop. Which is really fun.
Sounds like a good listen. And it's always, I think it's always fun to get into the boutique brands and those conversations, right? Hear about, it's not FootJoy, it's not Titleist, like
totally
get a different perspective on a brand doing it a different way. It's awesome.
Yep.
This week, driverangeheroes.com dropped a exciting review for me, the Nike Air Max 90 golf shoe. But here's the kick. It's the infrared colorway. Top 3 sneaker in sneaker history, the Nike Air Max 90 infrared. Now it's a golf shoe. So check out that review. Another note, we introduced a new personality at driverangeheroes.com this week.
That's right.
My good
excited about this
Texan friend. He has electricity, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about water. I got to ask him about water. Yeah. But Justin Thompson, new guy who is a vintage club aficionado and will be contributing more to the site as we move forward. His story, maybe it's because I'm looking for it to be interesting. I think it's fairly interesting. The stuff this guy sends me, he's like, oh, I just bought a 200 club lot. Look at these gems in it. He has a 1930s putter that I'm buying off of him. He's like, oh, this is in here. I go, can I buy that from you? It's like, yeah, sure. But it's a whole world that, I mean, he's teaching me a lot of vintage club stuff, and he can go back to like, late 1800s, 1900. It's fascinating. So check that out and stay tuned for more. One thing I wanted to address in the intro, forgot to. We have been seeing a lot of requests for that Range Life What's in the Bag 2021.
It's a good good topic to bring up.
Not to be confused with What's in the Box. I confuse it with, but what's in the bag? What Chris and I will be playing for 2021. We're gonna do it. Fully plan on it. Yes. Chris, it's not gonna be one of those things. Chris will do it, and then like 6 weeks later, 2 months later, it's me. We're gonna do it around the same time.
Yeah,
package deal. Probably we can get outside, but here's the thing: people have to keep in mind. If you haven't figured it out yet, we're somewhat discerning about our golf equipment. So you have to remember. We're in the last week of February here in Chicago. We've been talking about being 2 weeks under snow. Chris and I are very, very weary coronavirus safety advocate people. I don't know how to say that in a better way, and I heard it come out of my mouth. It wasn't great, but we take coronavirus safety very serious. So we haven't been doing a ton of fitting and working with other people to test the gear, see what we like. We're going to need some time.
Right.
When it's nice out to see what we like, how it fits us, how things are going. So we aren't going to have what's in the bag in the near future. But as our bags take shape with the season starting, like I already know 2 things that are going in my bag this year, but everything else is up for grabs. And I'm sort of a nerd. I take that back. My Tommy Armour III irons are going in my bag this year, even if I hit them terrible. But everything's still up for grabs. Got to get into the golf season, see how the swings are feeling and looking.
Sure. Yeah.
We're going to do what's in the bag when we're ready to do what's in the bag, but we promise we will do it. All right. We got anything else? I think we covered it all.
That's it.
God, what a show today. I'm so pumped about it.
I know.
It's like I don't even care if other people like it at this point, but it's so good. So fun. It's nice to have fun when we do this sometimes.
It is.
I say
it's
like we
true.
don't have
It's a
fun
real
every
shot
week.
in the arm. It's a shot in the arm.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm Bill Bush, driverangeheroes.com. He's Chris McEwen at Chris McEwen on all the social medias, and this is his YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks again, TA3 and Jason Highland of Sub 70. Check all that stuff out from them. Until then, everybody, see you next week.